In my life review, I saw that there was a moment in which I gave myself brain cancer. And I was, as children, we were being shown films of, duck and cover and nuclear weapons at school, and that cockroaches would be the only thing left. So all that was in my head. And then by the time I was in my 20s, the ecology thing was happening, and they were all saying, we're going to blow up the world 500 times, we're going to overpopulate, we're going to overgraze. The pivotal moment, which I saw in my life review, was this ecology group put out this photo that's quite famous. It was an aerial photograph of Los Angeles compared to a microscope picture of a cancer cell, and they looked very similar. The minute I saw that photograph, I had the thought in my head that nature had gone wrong and created a cancer called humanity, and humanity was a cancer on the planet that was going to kill this planet. And I lived with that thought, that belief in my head from that moment on. And guess what? I'm a human. I created brain cancer. So your world belief, how you see the world, the lens you look through, can be devastating or rejuvenating. And what happened was, one morning, I felt this blast of light coming in the window. I woke up for a split second, then fell back to sleep. And the next thing I know, I was outside of my body looking at my body. And there was a light leaving my body, and I just sort of said, I must be dead. That was what I thought to myself. I tried to wake up my hospice caretaker who was down the hall, but of course, not having a body, that I couldn't. The minute I realized I couldn't wake up my caretaker, I ended up back in the room that my body was in, and suddenly darkness closed in all around me. And I tell you, that was the scariest feeling in the world. It felt like hell. I fell into a deep, dark hole, as it were, almost like a black hole. And it seemed like there were many others in this same hole with me. I saw a pin light of light. It was almost like a little star in the blackness, but it was so far away. But almost immediately, my life review began. And my life review for me began as almost like a holographic movie in this darkness all around me. Once I got out of what I call the hell hole or the black hole I was stuck in and did make my way to the light, it was an amazing experience because something very similar to a guardian angel actually appeared to me as I called out. And I was calling out desperately for help. And I realize now that this was the metaphor for my own higher self, was reaching out to me. The only thing I could relate to something like that at the time was an angel because of my upbringing. And it was an angel who brought me to the light. But as I went to the light or the, quote, tunnel, was part of it was going to the light and the other part of it was coming from the light. And as I was moving up, I sort of realized that the column of light going up was all the people that were dying at that time. And the other side of the same light, actually it was the same light beam, so to speak. I was moving up a light beam, so to speak. On the other side was all the souls coming in, being born.